Someone asked me about karma the other day. They said, what is karma? And I think we have a misunderstanding of karma. The old school is, if in a past life you were a master who mistreated your slave, in this life you'll come back as a slave to be mistreated by a master, so you can learn the lesson and experience what you gave to somebody else in a previous life. So the soul can learn the lesson not to do that and therefore progress on their journey of enlightenment. There's a couple of flaws in that argument. One is we've got to talk about reincarnation, but that's for another time. That's not karma. There's nothing karmic about that. The true meaning of karma is, I guess, if I get drunk, I'll fall over. So karma is about the effect, not the cause. Karma is, if this causes this, this is the effect. And here I want to talk about, just imagine I had a dice and I flicked it with my finger. There's no way I would know where it would land on the floor, what number it would show. But if I knew how much energy was in the flick, and I knew the direction that I flicked the dice, I could calculate its flight path. I could calculate where it would hit the floor, at what angle it would hit the floor, and if I knew how much spring was in the carpet, any wind disturbance or whatever, I could calculate how many times that dice would roll until it settled, and I could calculate what the face of the dice would be. So if I knew all the little circumstances, I could calculate the outcome. That's what karma is that what's happening to you now is predictable considering all the circumstances. Karma in that sense is that what you experience today is perfect as an effect, considering all the causes that created it. Quite often I have people who say something like, I'm really sad. I'm sad because this happened. And my answer is, that's good, you're meant to be sad, because considering all the circumstances that led up to this, you can't be anything else but sad. Which brings me on to people who try to be happy when they're sad. Considering all the circumstances, if you can't be anything else but sad, then embrace it. Because if you try to be happy when you're meant to be sad, you're living a lie and it's not going to work. So karma is about the effect of a cause. And then people talk about karmic debt. They talk about, goes back to that first story of, in the past I was a bugger, so in the present I will suffer that from another bugger, so to speak. Probably not a good analogy. But put that aside, and that's called karmic debt. I have a debt to society which is carried forward karmically. To me it just doesn't stand up, it doesn't make sense, because that karmic debt is tied to the enlightenment to the soul. As far as I'm concerned, the soul was born enlightened, is enlightened, and will die enlightened, and not to get confused between the journey of the soul and the journey of the mind. The mind kind of stops when we die. So that's another interesting thing. So what is karma? Karma is, if I drink a lot, I will fall over. Misfortune does not happen to us, it is perceived by us. And I hope that makes it clear for you. Thank you.